We got Jay Baer here with us.
This is the pre-show show.
This is the pre-show show. That's right. So if you're tuning in on YouTube, none of this will be in the podcast. So hit that subscribe button and click that thumbs up and the little bell icon so you get notified every time we release a new episode and you get the pre-show content.
There you go. This is before Mark dances, right?
That's right. It's the pre-dance. Jay, what's that pin you have?
Is there a dancing part? Is that going to happen?
Yeah. Oh, we're going to have a dancing part.
Sweet. So can't wait.
Yeah. What's in on your lapel there?
Oh man, this is my thing. So in addition to always wearing plaid suits, which is kind of my branding thing, I always have lapel flowers because I really don't like pocket squares. I find them a little fussy. I also really suck at folding them in any way that looks good at all. And I tend to lose them. Whereas these flowers, and I've got like 30 of them in different colors, they just like go on the jacket, and then you just got to remember to take them off when you go to the dry cleaner. But other than that, they just stay on the jacket.
No fuss, no muss.
No fuss, no muss.
That's a great idea. I wear a pocket square quite a bit, but I hate that because
I'll allow it.
You got to kind of like wad it up and shove it in your pocket and then fluff it around, make it look good.
Yeah. There's like a whole art to it that I just have not chosen to spend time learning.
I got captured in the corner at Nordstrom by one of the men's department guys who tried to demonstrate his pocket folding skills to me one day, and I'm going,
you need more to do.
Totally. So
yeah, it's funny. A guy here in town in Bloomington, Indiana, where I live, makes all my suits for me, which is cool. He comes to the house and brings fabrics. But I tell you, the suit business has been really hurt by the pandemic. You may have read about that. People are not wearing a lot of suits because they're not leaving the house very often. Right. Certainly I'm not. I'm not even wearing any pants. So, I mean, I would definitely... I have not bought any suits since the pandemic, and if I did, I would certainly only buy jackets. I'll tell you that. I would not be buying any pants.
Are they? I mean, plaid shorts? Is that what we're going with? Or
oh, man, I am literally wearing sweat shorts like you would wear to the gym.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't give it. Look, we're at pod. This is why you have the YouTube.
That's why you have the YouTube. Exactly. Whoa, look at that. Right sweat shorts. Here we go.
No, I'm not kidding. Yeah, sweat shorts. Yeah.
For real. All right. Yeah, are you wearing shoes or are we going?
Oh, I'm not wearing shoes. I don't even know why I own shoes at this point. I feel like the whole thing is like a waste of time and money. And this is why you got to hit that bell so you can get this kind of notification for this sort of hard hitting content.
That's right.
Subscribe to the show.
Today on Start With a Win, Jay Baer revealed
wearing nothing.
Exactly. All right, guys, let's jump onto the podcast and kick off this conversation. All right, here we go.
Every day is filled with choices. You're here because you're choosing to start with a win. Get ready to be inspired, learn something new, and connect with the Win Nation.
Coming to you from somewhere in Denver, Colorado. Adam Contos, CEO of Remax, here with Start With a Win. I've got virtually in the studio here, virtually who knows where, producer Mark. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing so good. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you.
If I haven't said that before, let me say it again.
Exactly. Hey, it's like practically 2021, right?
That's right.
I don't even know what last year was like. We don't want to know. But hey, here we are. So, and we've got in the studio with us. And by the way, for those of you who missed our YouTube shenanigans earlier, we have the amazing Jay Baer in virtual studio with us today. How you doing, Jay?
Gents, what is going on? Hey, everybody. Definitely go check out the YouTube pre-show if you're listening to us on the podcast, and you can see me stripped down to almost nothing. Happy New Year.
We call it Jay Baer Revealed.
It's Jay Baer, Bare. It's a whole different episode title. There you go.
All right. Well, we're honored. It's our pleasure. We don't know what we're getting into yet today. We have Jay Baer. Jay is an inspirational plaid suit wearing, or at least sport coat wearing, Hall of Fame speaker on marketing and customer experience. I've seen Jay for years speaking on a big stage. I've taken a ton of notes sitting in the audience listening to you. Probably, practically spilled coffee on you in the hallways as well. You're also a trusted advisor to many, many iconic brands. I mean, you've worked with like more than 700 companies, including 36 of the Fortune 500. And now, and we've had you speak with us before at Remax as well. So we're honored to have you here. How are you?
Thanks. I'm doing great. It's, it's things are weird, continue to be weird, but you make accommodations, and we actually had a terrific 2020 in my organization. Huge shout out to my whole team at Convince and Convert. We've done, I think, the best work we've ever done on behalf of our clients. And I've actually really enjoyed, Adam, the giving presentations virtually. I probably did, 80 presentations in 2020, and literally never left my house. And I'm okay with that.
And you didn't have to put on pants either.
Didn't have to put on pants. Didn't have to talk to the TSA guys. It's actually all right. People bemoan this lack of in-person conferences, and I'm like, I'm okay. I'm happy to.
There you go.
I did it for 20 years. I'm good being at home.
So I like you. I think 2019. I think I spent like 200 plus days on the road.
Yeah, me too.
So, I hopped on a plane the other day. I went to see my daughters in college. They're out in Oklahoma and Kansas. We went to the Kansas-Oklahoma football game, and Oklahoma just walloped Kansas, by the way.
Yep.
It was more of a family get together than a competitive environment. But have you been back to the airport, man?
I have literally not been to the airport. I haven't even not only have I not flown, as we have this conversation, but I haven't even gone to pick anybody up at the airport. I drive so little now that I sold my car. True story. I was like, what is the point of this?
Wow. Yeah. I mean, talk about minimizing. I mean, that's awesome.
Good. Well, I mean, I had a fancy car, as one does, and I'm like, why am I paying for this? I literally never go anywhere. We have a lake house, which is just a few miles away, and that was the only trip I ever took. I'm like, I don't need this car. This is nuts. So that downsized the car and everything.
So what do you do? Uber to the lake house now? Is that how?
No, I did get another car. So I sold my car for a less expensive, nice car, but it's still
it gets you there.
Yeah, absolutely.
You can get like a horse or something too, right?
Man, that would be great. It's tricky in Indiana, though, riding a horse in January. I mean, it's doable. It's doable, but it sucks.
Right on. So, all right. Well, for the audience, I mean, I've been following Jay for, I don't know, it seems like decades, man. Your marketing and Convince and Convert and the Social Pros podcast, and you've had like several other podcasts going on too. I mean, this is it's an honor to have you on the show. And we always talk about the consumer here. We talk about how can we help the consumer? How can we do great things for them? So much of what we're doing now, obviously, is virtually. It's online. It's on social media, things of that nature. So, my understanding is you've been kind of digging in even deeper during the COVID period into, kind of some of the behavior of the consumer, things like that. What have you been up to lately? Give us
absolutely.
Right across the bow here. What's going on with Jay?
Well, I mean, here's the thing, right? I find this to be so interesting, and I'm old enough now to kind of have some perspective on all this. I mean, nobody's pro-pandemic yet. Obviously, nobody's like, man, thank God for the COVIDs. But it is also, and I mean this sincerely, listeners, this is the single greatest opportunity you will likely ever have to grow your business. You will not get a chance like this again. And when I say that, what I mean is that consumers of everything, right? Whether it's real estate or sandwiches or ball bearings or computers or banking services, what have you, consumers in all sectors of the economy are willing to make different buying decisions now in a way that would have been unprecedented, unthinkable just a few years ago. 6 out of 10 approximately customers have made a purchase from a brand new business or somebody they never bought from before. And 90% of those folks say they're going to stay with this new provider. And it's not about being the cheapest. Nearly 3 in 10 customers say that price matters less than ever. What we're making decisions on now is largely customer experience and perceived safety and operational efficiencies, things along those lines. And so the good news is that you have the opportunity to go out and take your competitors' customers in a way that wouldn't have worked last year. The bad news is your competitors can take them from you. So the way I like to frame this up, Adam, is that right now, every business is a startup and has to act like that. It doesn't matter if you've been in business for a year or 10 years or 100 years. Functionally, you are a startup because the relationship that you had between your business and your customers has to be rewired, because this isn't a temporary blip on the radar. I think we've all figured that out by now. This is a fundamental reworking of why people buy and from whom they buy. And you can either sit in your conference room or in your home office and say, well, we're just going to hunker down until things go back to normal. Or you can say, this is normal and we're going to go out and kick ass and grow our business in a way that you couldn't have done it a year ago.
I mean, okay. All right. Podcast done. We're good. I mean, that was so succinct, and you're 100% correct, because we saw all these people, and let's call it last March. I mean, we went into lockdown in Denver last. We went 100% virtual in our company, 600 employees, March 13th. But what we did was we pushed on the gas and we got on video. We did by mid-year, we did 25 million minutes on Zoom with our customers.
Yeah.
But a lot of companies did not. They just poof, they disappeared. And now they're back and they're like, ta-da, hey, remember me? I mean, are you seeing a lot of that in the reemergence of different organizations? And I mean, it sounds like they're getting punched in the face by customers who have found other people to work.
Alternatives in the meantime. Yeah. I mean, imagine, you had somebody, just kind of break it down into personal terms. Imagine you were paying somebody to mow your lawn, and for whatever reason, pandemic or lethargy or any other reasons, they just didn't show up for 3 months. Well, before 12 weeks were up, you would have hired somebody else to mow your lawn or started doing it yourself. And the same is true with every kind of business. The folks who were quick to rewire those relationships are crushing it. And the businesses that were slow to rewire those relationships are having a hard time rebuilding their business. Not that it's impossible. It's just tougher sledding because people have moved on to different alternatives in some cases. And so, there is definitely going to be an incredible series of case studies and books written about all facets of the pandemic, but the business winners and the business losers and why each ended up that way is going to be a story that we tell for generations to come.
Great point. I always looked at this like the analogy of, you've got these sports stars, and during the off season, you have some people that go and eat, junk food and donuts. And then you have others that get in the gym and go perfect their craft. And it seems like those that have really focused on perfecting their craft during COVID have taken some ground in that market share. And it's been apparent
in a different craft, right?
Oh, totally. Yeah, I mean, they've started absorbing other industries, right?
Look at Peloton, right? And their merger with Lululemon, right? That's such an interesting business combination that made so much more sense in a pandemic than before a pandemic, right? When nobody's going to the gym and they're only exercising in their own home. Well, geez, we also sell athleisure wear in stores that for a while people couldn't go to. Maybe we should do this together. Now we've got a supply chain and a sales channel. It's like, oh yeah, of course. That's 1 + 1 = 3.
It's funny you say that. I bought a Peloton during COVID.
You and everybody else.
and
Pelotons, RVs, and boats. Those are the things that everybody bought. Yeah.
That's it. The executive casual wear now every single day is Lululemon.
Yeah.
That's
it.
In your sweatpants shorts. So
I got you.
They need to start selling plaid jackets though.
Man, I'll tell you what, you've got influencer program dialed in right here with this guy. I'm in. I'm ready.
Yeah. There you go. All right. Plaid jackets. Those of you with Lulu who are listening to this, listen up. Baer.
I'm waiting for somebody to offer me the plaid sport coat collection that I can offer, out there.
The Baer signature collection.
If Kathy Ireland can sell paint or whatever the hell she's selling on QVC, I can definitely sell some plaid jackets. There's no question about that.
I'll buy one, Jay.
Thank you.
I'll be your first customer, buddy.
Thank you.
Okay, so how did companies do this? I mean, we've been preaching video, things like that, and you look at across the social channels here. What's your biggest recommendation for how people have done this, and where can we go from here?
I'll stay out of the really specific tactical things because it is so circumstantial from business to business and industry to industry. But categorically, I'll tell you this, Adam. So my research team and I have done a tremendous amount of analysis on this topic, and what you're really trying to create, and it's at one level easier than ever in a pandemic, and in another level it's harder. But ultimately, what you want is what we like to call the coveted customer experience. The coveted customer experience is when you exceed customer expectations so consistently that price and perfection are no longer required. Price and perfection are no longer required. If you're not the cheapest, that's okay. And if you make a mistake, they will give you a pass. The coveted customer experience gives you what I think is the least discussed, most important thing in business: the benefit of the doubt. That's what a coveted customer experience buys you. So the natural question, Adam, is, great, Jay, well, how do you do that? Well, there's lots of things that you can do in any business to improve, enhance, optimize the customer experience. But there's only three things that customers in all businesses care about, categorically. They want you to be quick, they want you to be clear, and they want you to be kind. Quick, clear, and kind. So the assignment that I would give the listeners, and the same assignment that I give attendees in virtual keynotes every week, is how can you be in your business 15% faster, 15% less confusing, and 15% more empathetic in the next 90 days. If you set that out as a goal for you and your organization and you really lean into it, you will be flabbergasted at what kind of customer experience you can deliver and how that impacts your revenue and your profits.
Perfect. Very concise, Jay. Let me ask you this, though, because everybody is going, you're not driving down the street going, okay, where do I want to get a burger? You're going to your iPhone, right? Mm-hmm. People are going to their phone. They're like, okay, who's gonna deliver that to me, or who has safety, whatever. And some of these places that essentially have shut down, they haven't had a review in 2 years.
Yeah.
So, how do you're quick, you're clear, and you're kind.
Yeah.
How do you turn that into your top of mind also?
Yeah. Well, I think you have the question upside down. If you are disproportionately quick, clear, and kind, if you exceed customer expectations, that will be spit back to you in your reviews. You'll see it, right? You'll A, get more reviews, and B, you'll see those kind of things show up in the reviews that people leave for you. And nothing could be more important, especially as a local business. Some new data just came out literally today as we're having this conversation, literally today. 70% of consumers say that reviews are more important to them now than they have ever been in the past.
70%.
70%.
Wow.
More important now than ever before. And this blows me away. 1/4 of all consumers, 25%, have read an online review in the last 24 hours.
That's amazing.
That's amazing. Right? That's amazing. And it's funny, you talk about where to get a burger. This is another stat from this report. This data comes from our friends at Podium, by the way. I love this stat. 26% of consumers have looked at reviews while in the parking lot of a business before actually going into the business, which I love that example, because I've definitely done that, right? You're like, you pull in there, you're like, this might be a good place. Let's look at the reviews before I get out of the car, for sure.
It's absolutely funny that you say that, because we just got back from Kansas from Oklahoma, visiting our daughter from Kansas and Oklahoma. They're both going to school out there. And we would pull up to a restaurant out there in the old rental car, and everybody would pull out their iPhone, and we'd be like, okay, what are we going to order? What's on the menu? And what do the reviews say?
Yeah.
I'm guilty.
Before you can go in.
Exactly.
It's amazing, isn't it? Absolutely amazing.
I'll tell you what, my mom was doing that the other day also. And so you've got like people who are in their late 70s cruising around. Yeah. Anybody who says this is generational now is crazy.
No. And look, I talked about before that every business is a startup now. And I mean that, like, people don't know what to expect from you anymore. Whole world's topsy-turvy, right? And this idea that a customer, especially when their health might be at play at some level, is just going to trust you and be like, well, we'll just pull in here and find out, when you've got all these reviews from other people telling you what's true. Like, nobody's got that kind of gambling streak, right? I mean, it's no surprise that more than half of all customers say that mask wearing policies in the business is one of their top 3 things they actually look for in review text, which I find fascinating. And it makes absolute perfect sense. But when you were talking about this idea of quick, clear, kind, I'll give you a quick example of how these two things work together, right? This idea of exceeding expectations in customer experience, and then how that feeds into reviews. There's a business in Indianapolis, not too far from where I live, and it's called Bognedoff and Dodges. They're an accounting firm, small accounting firm. They do small business returns, personal returns, little tax advice. They are exactly the same as some 20,000 small accounting firms in the US. Same product, same services, same price, no differentiation at all, except they have decided to win with quick. They respond to every client request, phone and email, within 5 minutes at all times. 5-minute response time from an accounting firm. Now, that doesn't happen very often in most accounting firms. And if you actually look at their Google reviews, number one, they've got like 100 Google reviews for an accounting firm, which is crazy. And number two, if you look in the reviews, almost every single review, Adam, says, I can't believe how fast these guys are. I can't believe how fast these guys are. They got back to me within 5 minutes every time. I love how fast they are, right? So if you can exceed expectations, it will get spit back to you in reviews, and then it gives everybody else a cue that, hey, this is how you run your business, and then it creates new customers on the back end.
So true. It's interesting you say that, because I'm sitting here looking at the words quick, clear, kind. And they have actually, when you look at those 3 words, those are actually contrary to how people have been treated as a whole during COVID. So, I mean, this is like the antithesis of how you would expect to be treated during COVID. You know, you show up somewhere and they're like, okay, only 4 people in the room at a time. And it's going to take a while because we only have 1 cook in the kitchen. And, you know, these people are get to take their time, whatever. I mean, so quick is out the window. Clear, everything's so convoluted. I don't know what I'm supposed to do or say, or I'm walking the wrong way.
Completely confusing.
Exactly. Yeah. There's no clarity at all in this environment. And then kind, everybody got rid of kind when they become the mask police, and they're like, put your mask on, you know, and I'm all for the health of the whole thing, but don't yell at me. You know, sir, I'm sorry, your mask is too low on your head. That's cool. Treat me.
There's a way to do this and a way not to do this.
Exactly. And I mean, I saw that at the gym. You know, someone will come by your treadmill while you're like bent over, sucking wind, trying to get a drink of water. Like, get your mask on. And you're like, I'm taking a drink. I can't breathe. And they're like, okay, all right, we're good. So, I mean,
if I drink through the mask, I'm literally waterboarding myself. I can't do that.
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to drown here. But, this is interesting because, I mean, you've like completely flipped the treatment of let's try and enforce things on its head. And you said, well, let's be nice to each other and everybody will do what we need them to do. And they'll want to use our business.
Yeah. Well,
weird. Let's treat people with dignity and respect.
I mean, that's why I wrote this. This whole idea of quick, clear, kind, I wrote after the pandemic had started, to the point that you raised. And it's funny, it's so intuitive of you to point that out, Adam, because nobody picks up on that like, oh, the things that Jay's recommending are the things that have gone out the window. And that's just it. That's why the research told us that those are the things that customers really care about. Why do they care about it? Because they don't have it, right? If everybody was fast and everybody was not confusing and everybody had empathy, then customers wouldn't seek it because it would be commonplace, but it's not. Right. And even if you think you're being customer kind, you're probably not. Right. That's the work that we do on the consulting side. That's what we always find. Right. Business owners think that they're being fast and not confusing and empathetic. And then you do some research. You're like, oh, yeah, you guys are not nearly as good as you thought you were.
So true. So true. I mean, this is. Gold here. Anybody who runs a business, works in a business, unless you're sitting on an island somewhere, just, peeling coconuts or something like that, I think you need to listen to this because this is pertinent to your business life of quick, clear, and kind. So, Jay, we've been digging through this for a little while. I have a question for you because I did not touch on this earlier, but where can everybody find you to find out more wisdom and insight like this? Where can we find you on the social media or wherever?
Not at the airport. Definitely not at the airport. But yeah, I'm Jay Baer, Baer on all the places, Twitter, LinkedIn, etc. Our main website for the organization is convinceandconvert.com. We have thousands of free articles for business owners, managers, and marketers there on customer experience and digital marketing. And my main podcast, as you mentioned earlier, is called Social Pros, all about how medium-sized and large companies, including your own, handle their social media.
I love it. And it has this little bell sound in the beginning of it.
Yes, it's a audio branding. Yep.
There you go. It worked with me because I remember it. I see the little, in fact, I have the little orange box up right now
nice.
on my iPhone. I was listening to you in the gym this morning, my friend.
Thank you.
So anyhow, Jay, also, I have a question I ask everybody who's on the show. And that question is,
why is Kansas football so bad? I can't tell you in this amount of time, but they are truly a bad team.
It really was kind of it was like they should have a mercy rule in college football.
They really should. I'm a Nebraska fan historically, so I'm very, very familiar with Kansas's tribulations.
Gotcha. So, and I mean, well, Oklahoma is one of the best. So anyhow, okay, Jay, well, here's the question. This is start with a win. So Jay Baer, how do you start your day with a win?
This is going to sound a little sappy, but it's true. So on my nightstand, I keep my phone. When I go to bed, a glass of water, and then I have a picture of my kids. My daughter's a senior in college. My son's a sophomore, so I don't get to see them very much anymore. So what I do is in the morning, first thing I do when I wake up is I turn over and I look at the picture of them, which kind of keeps me centered and grounded, and a reminder of kind of why I do what I do and why I work as hard as I work. To me, that's a win.
I love that. I mean, it touches the heart. If I've got kids in college, I mean, it's kind of weird being an empty nester, and
it is
not having them.
It seemed great till the pandemic hit. Then it started to suck. Yeah, I had all these big empty nester plans, and then what are you going to do?
Right. And then they all come back, and then you're like, hey, this wasn't supposed to happen this way.
Exactly.
But oh well. Yeah. I look forward to seeing them over the holidays because they went back to college.
Yeah.
But
me too.
Anyhow, cool. All right, Jay Baer, Social Pros podcast, Convince and Convert. Again, I look forward to seeing you at your next virtual speaking gig. I hope our pants all still fit when we when we go back to big stage speaking there, buddy. So anyhow, thanks again for being on Start With a Win, and we appreciate all you do.
You bet. Thanks so much. Great to be here.
And thank you for listening to Start With a Win. If you'd like to ask Adam a question or tell us your Start With a Win story, give us a call and leave us a message at 888-581-4430. Don't forget to go onto iTunes and subscribe, write a review, rate the show. It helps us get the word out and reach more people. For more great content, head over to startwithawin.com and follow Adam on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. And until next time, start with a win. All right. Hey.
Are we still
Jay,
on YouTube?
Thanks for being on Start With a Win. Thank you so much.
Man, it was a blast. I really, really enjoyed that.
It goes by really
taking
quick.
some notes here, some serious notes.
I know. I have a note. I got a note for you, Jay. So you talked a lot about reviews on this show. What would you say is the best way about getting those reviews or garnering those reviews from potential or from customers and whatnot?
Yeah. Two things. One, you have to do something they don't expect. That's why you never see 3-star reviews. Because there's no reason to leave one. It either has to be way better than they thought it was going to be or way worse than they thought it was going to be. Nobody ever leaves a review that says, yep, that was pretty much what I expected, because there's no story there. All a review is a story, right? It's just a story. A review is just word of mouth, asynchronous. So you have to do something they don't expect, number one. And then number two, you just have to ask them. There's been so many academic studies on this point that if you just ask somebody to leave you a review, the chances that they will do so go way, way, way up. And of course, making it easier for them to do that than some other way is beneficial, right? You send them the link to the direct page to leave the review. You just break down any sort of barriers that they might have operation to leave the review. That certainly helps. But Mark, the one thing I categorically do not recommend is incentivizing reviews, to say, hey, if you leave us a review, we'll give you a free washer dryer or a free cheeseburger or whatever. It actually doesn't work. There's been a bunch of research on this point that when you tie reviews to an actual financial reward of some kind, it actually gets fewer reviews, not more, because it turns it into a transaction, and you are literally buying somebody at that point, and they feel kind of icky about it. And like, yeah, I'm out.
That's good. That's good. That's awesome. Man, thank you. Hey, and thank you for watching us on YouTube here. And if you haven't already, click that subscribe button and the thumbs up and the little bell icon so that you get notified every time we release an episode, and you get this exclusive behind the scenes content. I mean, look at that. We got another piece of gold. And if you were not subscribed, you wouldn't have gotten it. So that's it.
No
Until
idea.
next time.
Or you didn't watch the video all the way. Maybe you didn't watch. I mean,
that's right.
Somebody missed out on that.
They missed out, but you're still here. So we appreciate that. All right. Thanks.
And Happy New Year, everybody.
That's right. Happy New Year.
Hey, Jay, thanks for being with us. We appreciate
you bet, guys. I had a great time. I appreciate it. Happy New Year. Congratulations on a fantastic show. Anything I can do for you and your audience, please give me a holler.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Take care, my friend.
See you later.